Alright guys, it's unique devotion time, and this is a long one, so I'm just going to hop right in and sort of throw it at you, that way we cut some time. So here we go. We are in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 12 through 22. This is entitled Various Exhortations. So here we go. The most important part, right here. And we urge you, brethren, to recognize those who labor among you and are over you in the Lord, and admonish you, and to esteem them very highly in love with their work's sake, for their work's sake. Be at peace among yourselves. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn those who are unruly, comfort the faint-hearted, uphold the weak, be patient with all. See that no one renders evil for evil to anyone, but always pursue what is good, both for yourselves and for all. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Do not quench the Spirit, do not despise prophecies. Test all things. Hold fast what is good. Abstain from every form of evil. So there's a bunch of really good stuff here, and a lot of things are standing out to me. And hopefully there's a bunch of things that are standing out to you. And if there's at least one thing that stands out more than the others, focus on that today. Pray to God about that, and try to bring that back in your mind as you go throughout the day, not just now, not just when the video is done and you're done with the reading, but throughout the day, at least once before you go to bed, if for nothing else, and see how it changes your day and your thought process in a more loving, positive manner. So what stood out most to me over all of that is test all things. And here's why. It says, do not quench the Spirit. Well, test that. So don't quench the Spirit. See what happens. Do not despise prophecies. Okay, don't despise prophecies, but test it. You know, if someone says something is going to happen in the future, they think something is going to happen, test it out. See if it does happen. See if that path and thought process is real, and try to understand where it's coming from. Abstain from every form of evil. Test that. Try abstaining from the bad things that you do in your life. And it also gives you a chance to search out some things that you may realize now that you shouldn't be doing. It says here to comfort the faint-hearted. Well, test that. Comfort the faint-hearted. See what happens. Uphold the weak. Again, test that. You know, if you see some people that are struggling with something, help them out. See what happens. Be patient with all. Patience. Whew, that's a huge one. Why don't you test that? You know, forcefully, you know, like you would sitting down to take a test. You write your name at the top. You start checking off the answers or writing the answers. You force yourself to sit down and work through it, and hopefully you come out with a decent grade on the other side. So here's another one. Be patient. Force yourself to be in that position of testing it as though you were being tested on paper with patience, and see what happens when you're patient with people throughout the day, even if it's not out loud and it's just up here in your mind, and see what happens. Always pursue what is good, both for yourselves and for others. Pursue what is good. So test that. See what happens. See, now you start to see why I'm hanging on test all things. And it's not to never test it because you're questioning God, but test it because you want to understand where He's coming from, and He's going to give you the layout just like you would on a page taking a test in school. He's going to give you questions. He's going to give you things to choose from, and then once the test is over, you will see whether you chose right or you chose wrong. And it's not to ever put you down that you are right or wrong, or scold you or lift you up. It's it's to put you in your place as to the things that you maybe need to work on and the things that you are good at that you maybe don't need to focus on as much, um, but it all gives you grounding. Um, Someone said, you never ask God why. Why, God, why? Well, because that's kind of a dumb question. He has a purpose. But you can ask him sort of inquisitively, which is the same word but in a different tone. Um, why, God? Or why do the plants grow in that manner? Well, let's test that out. Oh, so there's like a biology and a reasoning for how the sun interacts with the plants and makes them grow, and how the soil and the water gets absorbed up. So also there's reasoning. There's a form and a function to how you did. Wow, that's awe-inspiring. See, the end tone is that you are amazed and awe-inspired by the knowledge that you have now gained. But if you just ask God, like, why, God? Why are you doing this to me? Why is this happening? There's no awe-inspiring thought process at the end of that. It's always a you separating yourself from God and thinking that you have an answer that he doesn't kind of feeling when you ask that kind of why. Hopefully that makes sense. So when he says test all things, it's not an angry why. It's an inquisitive with an awe-inspiring answer at the end why. All right, I kind of hashed that out a number of times. I still don't feel quite like I explained what's up in here as well, but just trying to communicate. That's what we do. And if for nothing else, I'm communicating out loud to talk to God, to hopefully, later on the day, he'll clarify something for me, and I go, I should have said it that way. So I'm going to test all things today, or at least maybe one thing, as I go through the day, and just see what happens, and just test it, see what happens. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm rambling at this point. I hope God gives you all the blessings you deserve, and even more so, all the blessings you don't deserve. Have a wonderful day. It is breakfast time for me. I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy testing things. Don't make it a burden. Just enjoy it. Have a wonderful day.